Marty, the question is not where have I been, but when have I been? Yeah, dude! I'm excited to be here with you guys today. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, girls, people of the world, welcome back to Full Circus! Dude, I am so freaking amped up to be back here with you guys. You know, I know you guys are like, dude, you were just here last week, right? We just saw you. What the frick? Like, what's going on? Why so loud? What's with the decibels? But like I said in that last episode, it was recorded ahead of time, right? Freaking future, the time-space continuum. And I was like, whoa, what's happening? Where are we? And so it's been 2 weeks for me. It's been 2 weeks. It's been a long time since I've been here, and I'm ready to be back here. Dude, I missed you guys. I missed doing this. And because that whole thing was super, whoa, what's going on? I felt like what better time and place to wear my freaking Dr. Emmett Brown shades-ish. They're not exactly that, but they look like it, right? And so I had to do that. I had to be like, oh, if we're going to build a time machine, might as well do it in some style. Besides, the stainless steel construction, watch out! So I've been meaning to wear these shades, and it just so happened, you know. And one, I'm coming back from the beach, right, the vacation, and I didn't bring these. I wish I did, because I forgot I even had them. They're so cool, but I've been meaning to wear them on the podcast, and it just kind of worked out perfectly like that. And that's how we're kicking off the show, dude. We're back. Also trying out the new white light. It's the same freaking light that I use every episode, but the color white, because now I got some color in my face, guys. Let me take these things off. How are you doing? Oh man, it feels so good. It feels so freaking good to be back here. I do have notes, right? I've had 2 weeks to prepare for this specific episode. So I got notes, and it's pretty structured. I feel like I know what I'm going to say ish, right? Now, that doesn't really ever lead a lot. You know, it doesn't really give me a lot to work with. It does, but I kind of just fall apart. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I've had 2 weeks. So if I don't make this a good episode after 2 weeks of preparation, then there's no hope for me. So, but we'll press forward. So I do have these. So if you see me looking down on my phone, you know, I'm just trying to look at what I'm supposed to say or what, you know, keep my mind on track. Because when you have 2 weeks of crap, of things happening in the world, it's hard to be like, whoa, this. So this is supposed to help me keep my brain on the right track, right? That's the track, right? Stay on your path. The train of thought, I'm on it. Chugga, 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 chugga. It's been 2 weeks. Oh man, I do feel really good that I don't have my sounds off. My bad. But yeah. Oh, it's been some time. It's been a minute. It's been exactly 2 weeks. So I did miss you guys. I miss doing this. I miss talking to you. You guys probably don't miss me. I was just here. So you're like, what the heck? Again. But let me just try and dial it down. I got to be careful with my voice a little bit. I have to do a voiceover audition after this. So if I burn out, I'm screwed. So it probably wasn't a good idea for me to go, Marty. But hey, that's life. That's life in the fast lane, the fast track. Chugga, chugga, chugga. Oopsie. But hey, it says right here that if I'm going to start talking about the beach trip, the vacation in the first place, what better way to start it than the road trip? And the road trip was good. The road trip was fine. It was safe. Everything was, you know, okay. The thing about having a road trip, though, like right at the beginning, is you're packing everything up, all this crap. Well, this goes here, snacks, blankets, I'm getting ready, buckle. Just kidding. I mean, yes, we did. I did. Click it or ticket. But yeah, you're getting in the car, everything's coming together, and it was in the middle of the night was when we left. So all the pieces, everything's coming to place, and you're bubbling up with excitement. You get in, you strap in, like, woo, 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 let's go, yeah, vacation. And then about like 8 minutes pass, you're like, woo, woo. You know, like, it kind of just like fizzles down. You're like, oh, this is going to be a long freaking ride. And it was a 15-hour road trip. Now, it's not the longest, but it ain't the shortest neither, right? So the excitement kind of fizzles away. and you're like, oh, this is, road trip, right? It's only so much trip and more road. We're just going on this thing, and yeah, it was fine though. Let me look. Let me make sure I don't don't skip anything. But yeah, there was a thing. It was a joke. It was a point I wanted to make because while I was in the car. And do you remember when you were a kid, or maybe this didn't happen to anybody else, it just might have happened to me, but when we'd go on road trips, I'd always turn on the back lights, in the back of the minivan, and then your parents would freak out, whoa, what the heck, dude, turn that off, you can't have lights on while we're driving, and they're like, wait, what's going on, you turn that off, and bing, hey, and I never got that, and it just kind of popped in my head while we were going back, down on this journey. Because now that I'm old enough to drive and help out on this journey here in this steering, that I don't mind if anybody turns the lights on. So I need to ask my parents, and if this happened to anybody else, what was the deal with the whole lights? I don't know if they were afraid of moths just showing up around, or they were vampires. They just didn't like the light. I don't know what the deal was, but every time as kids, we'd have somebody be turn on the light. I can't find anything. Turn on. Whoa, come on. Hey, turn it off. And it was a super big deal, and I don't know why. But I thought that was funny that it kind of popped up in my head when I was in the back. I was like, wait, what the crap? What was that about? And I don't know why I didn't ask him. I think I just, instead of asking my mom what the freaking thing was about, I thought it'd be funny for me to come on here and say, hey, what was it about? And then she'll text me later and she'll be like, hey, it's because we're stupid. And I'm like, what the heck, Mom? No, but yeah, it was good. I don't understand what the lights were, but that was probably the only unsafely thing that happened besides the fogs, dude. When I was driving, we got hit with the heaviest of fogs, right? Some freaking heavy drift, like ancient China, just seeping. You're like, is there monsters floating out in there? It was pretty scary, and it was in the middle of the night. So you're just you're driving, it's so dark, nothing but clouds and fog right in your face, and you're like, oh, I trust that the road is going to keep continuing right in front of me, and you're flying through the mountains at 70 miles an hour, just watching the lines go, I'm like, oh, this is pretty terrifying, now I understand. Maybe if someone would have turned a light on right there, okay, hey! But right there, I was like, I can't even see the freaking hood of the car. It's so foggy. It's I might as well just fly it blind and just listen to the GPS. Is everything okay? But it was actually pretty freaky, especially for someone who's never driven in the mountains before, West Virginia. But yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the lights or the fog. But the fog was freaking. It was awesome until it wasn't. Right? You're like, hey, look at that fog! Oh crap! Oh jeez! Are we to die now? Are we gonna die? Is this how this is gonna go? Whoops. So it was cool, but also scary. And another thing was, so I took over around 4 a.m. I drove for about 5 hours, 4 to 9 was my shift. And my dad, because I'd never driven in the mountains before, and he's afraid of the mountains, or me driving, I don't know if he just wanted to keep me company or whatever, but that's what you do on a road trip, right? You stay up, try to keep someone company, make sure you keep them accountable. Stay up, mister. But yeah, he had been up for 32 hours or something at that point. So he was sitting next to me trying to, make sure, hey, I'm your road trip buddy. And he was like, yeah, keep on going. Again, my dad's not that Southern, but as my impression of my dad, it's very much more Southern. He's like, all right, keep on going. He's like, man, it's foggy out here. And he started to dozing off. Now, I knew he had been up for a long time, and everyone else behind us was snoozing as well. And I was like, oh man, I don't want him to feel I'm fine. I know how to drive, right? I'll be okay. So I was trying to real drive smooth and make sure he was okay. And he slowly began to drift off. And he would wake up and man, I'm tired out here. And then I'd just be like, yeah, didn't notice you were falling asleep, man. So he was so after 45 minutes, he's almost fell asleep there. Dude, listen, it's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. And so I was trying to do that, and I'd be singing, and especially because I'm pretty good in the middle of the night. I'd be yeah, just keep on rocking. And they're like, what the? Oh, it's just Tristan making dumb noise. When you hear me making dumb noise, you're like, hey, he's awake. And I thought that bring comfort to them, right? Oh, shut up, but also keep going, just so I know you're still awake. So you're Always struggling. Yeah, I'm the dope man. I'm the chubby. Oh, yeah, he's freaking still an idiot. And then, so that kind of worked out. But yeah, the road trip was nice. We got there safely. Everything was okay until like right at the end, like as we kind of started coming right towards the beach. We landed in the butt cheeks, right in the butt crack of nowhere, right? Where there was no service, no nothing. It was a Sunday, and the Browns game was on. I didn't even talk about this, but the Browns were 2-1. Awesome. But yeah, I was trying to watch the Browns game. I was freaking out because I couldn't even Google the score. I was like, I've been waiting all day. I've been waiting all night, really, to get a hold of this Browns game. So excited for it. I'm freaking out. I'm just angry at the world. It's like, come on, it's my boys. And we're just driving, couldn't get anything, and finally the service, everything breaks, and then just flooded with energy, but it's just cellular service. And I'm like, oh, I'm checking, we're all listening to it, playing, trying to watch it, to the point like the most exciting time of the road trip that we'd worked so hard for the past 15 hours. We didn't stop anywhere. All through the night, everything was leading to this moment where you cross the bridge and you see the ocean, you smell everything, and it's like, wow, we're at the beach, isn't this amazing? Everyone's like high-fiving. It's like, wow, isn't this cool? It's glorious. And it's like, wow, I'm so happy we're here. It just feels like home, feels like soul. And I'm like, Zach! And I'm just like so focused on everything else is going on. Like, wow, look, you see that? Look, it's our stores that we all used to come here as a kid. Isn't this so good? I'm like, whatever, it's the Browns. Nothing else matters. And man, dude, it just makes you realize how much you freaking love the Browns. Like when we got to the house, I ran in, I set the TV up. They're like, oh, let's all go down to the beach, go check out the water, because the water's, it's cool. It's cool to see the ocean. Cool. Like I'm not saying what they're talking. I know I'm like doing this stupid little impression of like, how dumb were they to care about the ocean that we just went on a road trip to go see. But I was like, forget the ocean. Screw all that, right? This is football time. Like I'm sitting on the couch, butt planted. Let's go. Let's rock. And I didn't go out there. I didn't step foot. I didn't even look at anything. I was like, wait, we're at the beach? We're at the beach? When did that happen? All I know is you were getting W. But yeah, it was a good road trip. I'm glad we got there safely. Glad we got back safely as well. The house was nice. The house was nice. There was a couple problems though. It was the water. The water, like like the houses that are like right on the shore, they use a lot of that well water, right? And well, it tasted like it came from a well, like strong, like it was bad. It was bad. I don't know if there was like a dead animal in it or some homeless guy was bathing in this water, but it was disgusting. It was pretty bad. Well water. It was well. It was bad. So I thought, in my head, I was like, oh, well, who cares, right? It's pretty bad, but what if I put in a pitcher and I dump a lot of Kool-Aid in it, right? Because even though it's horrible, it's right, it's still, it should be okay, right? If you use enough sugar, it'll mask whatever else is going on in this thing, and that didn't work, right? Because I drank it and immediately got sick. Which just so happens, right? It doesn't matter what you do, just try and sprinkle it up, right? If someone serves you a turd and you put, sprinkles on it, it's still a turd, right? No matter how much sugar you put on it, no matter how much dumped in it, it was still crap. And it was horrible. So I drank it, I got sick. And then I was like, oh man, that sucks, I got sick. But I didn't put two and two together for some reason. It was like, oh, I drank the butt water. Can't believe I got sick. Oh, I'm thirsty. I drank more but got sick. And then I finally put the pieces after the third or fourth time, and I was like, oh, I'm going to stop that. So note to self, be careful around well water, especially if it's horrible, because Kool-Aid cannot save anything. Kool-Aid cannot save poo water. What else happened? There was the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi in this house was awful. Actually, listen, I'm not one to really care about the electronics super hard, especially while you're at the beach. It doesn't matter a lot. I mean, I guess everyone needs Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi was bad. Like, horribly. I used service the entire time because it was so atrocious, right? I was trying to watch a movie. I tried to boot it up, like the first time I was trying to watch a movie on my phone. and I couldn't get the load. I turned it on because like, oh wait, what's the Wi-Fi? Before I watch this movie, let me just make sure I'm not burning out my data. It's like, oh, we use the thing, I punch it in. All right, now I'm going to sit back and watch this motion picture. Now the only problem was this thing was all picture, no motion, because it was buffering. Error. This sucks. And it was pretty bad. It was not pretty. It was horrible. It was exactly bad. But yeah, it was it was probably the worst Wi-Fi or anything. So make sure you're always strapped with some good service. But even the best service won't work out in the butt cheeks land, where my service wasn't good enough to get me a Browns game, but it was good enough to suffice in the midst of whatever that was. And then I decided I wanted to go surfing that week at the beach. I was like, hey, I'm only at the ocean so often. I've skateboarded. I've done some snowboarding. I might as well go for the triple threat, the trifecta. I might as well go try and surf. So I look it up. I'm like, oh, where can I rent a surfboard? And a freaking store comes up. I start calling their number. Nothing. No answers. I cook it. I don't cook it. I call it again. Nothing. So I keep calling these guys. They're not picking up. I check the hours. Everything's okay. Like I got stuff to do. So they don't answer. And you know what happens when you don't answer? You lose my business. So I go to the second-rated surf rental shop on Google, and I call him up. Guy answers. Hello, and that was me. I said hello because the guy did not sound like that. The guy sounded like Michelangelo from Ninja Turtles. Hello, man. And I'm like, hey, do you guys sell? Hey, do you guys rent surfboards? Yeah, dude, we rent surfboards. I was like, oh, okay. Well, do you have what would I need? What would a beginner need to go and try surfing? Well, we got the foam boards if you want to get that, because those are pretty radical boards. I was like, okay, so foam boards, that's like the amateur boards. Well, it's a normal rental board. I was like, okay, but you guys got rental boards, everything's great. Yeah, dude, see here. Okay, bye. So I go down there because I need to go and get this freaking rental thing. I need to go and get the surfboard. So I walk in there. Hey, and this guy, again, it's the same guy I just talked to on the phone. He's like, dude, hey. And as I walk up to the counter, I was like, hey, dude, I'm looking to rent a surfboard. He's like, right, okay. What's your height and weight, man? And I'm like, all right, I'm a 6'1", and I was about 165 before we entered this trip, but I'd been eating pretty heavy on the road trip, and at the beach, so I just rounded up 50. I was like, yeah, I'm about 180. He's like, right, okay, and so he says, well, you'll probably want an 8 or a 9, right? An 8 or a 9 board will be pretty gnarly for you. And I was like, okay, well, what's the difference? What's the difference between an 8-footer and a 9-footer? He's like, well, the 9-footer is going to catch waves real nicely, but the 8-footer is, it's going to be pretty cool and manageable, but it's more advanced. And I was like, okay, but I said I was a beginner, so I don't know if that's super applicable. He's like, yeah, I'd probably go with the 9 over beginner. And I was like, wait a minute, okay? So now that after he'd said that the 9, I was starting to get a little offended, not in front of him, like, hey, dude, what's the matter with you? But I was like, oh, dang, do you think I can't handle it? He said the 8 or 9 was beginner, but the 8, was going to be the hardest beginner level. But then he also said that a 9 would be better for me, would be even more beginner. So does he not think I'm a good beginner? Am I not a good beginner? What kind of logic is that? Yeah, I'm willing to admit, hey, dude, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm a beginner, but do not try and put me in the freaking crap little peon beginners, right? I'm like the top tier of beginners here. So I'm like, yeah, give me the 8, dude. He's like, right, dude, the 8's gnarly. It's gonna be freaking. That's bodacious of you, dude. So ring that up. And so I got that. I got the 8. I got the 8, and I was, frick, where are my notes going? I'm not reading the script, but I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, I got the 8, and I was ready to shred. But there was no shredding. There was no shredding being done by me. So I was like, yeah, dude, give me the freaking hardest thing you got for a beginner. And He did. He gave me the 8, and I jumped in the waves. Like, dude, how easy is this going to be? I hop on, and I was like, let's shred, dude. Let's shred. And now the only thing being shredded was my body to pieces because the ground, like the sand, was just covered in shells, right? Poseidon's toenails just crashing down. I'm getting sliced up, diced up like potatoes. I'm getting just cut. Hands, knees, feet, elbows, face, and my stomach, dude, my chest, my nipples were completely chafed, rubbed raw. And I know you probably didn't come in here on the podcast to hear about my nipples, but maybe you did. But the point is that whenever the surfboard, I don't know what was going on, but it was hurting me. What is it? What's going on? What am I missing? Okay, yeah, we're okay. Nipples. I had that in my note. Dude, talk about your nipples. Got it, dude. But yeah, I was getting completely beat up, and I don't know what about the surfboard it was, but it was like just tearing my nipples off, dude. It felt like someone took a cheese grater straight across my chest, and these were no cheese nips of mine. Okay, I didn't know this was a part of it, so I ran back on shore. I got Band-Aids strapped up, and like, yeah, let's go. And then it wasn't until this moment that in the midst of all my pain, I forgot about my real fear. Sharks. I'm afraid of sharks. I'm afraid of the ocean, dude. I'm afraid of what's in there. And I have a quick little video I can show somewhere around here where there's something like whizzes by me. Yeah, I don't know if it's playing right now. Like, I have no idea how this is gonna work. I'm the editor. Good job, Tristan. Or you suck. Whatever's happening, do it good. But yeah, here's the video. Look, something whizzes by, and I book it. I'm out. I'm like, screw this, dude. I don't know what that was, but it was way faster than the fish because there was fish around me. The wave splashes up, and I was like, that's huge. I'm out. And I booked it. I was so terrified, and I didn't want to be in the ocean anymore. I was like, all right, that's fine. It's whatever. It's cool. It's whatever. Listen. My body's burnt to a crisp. I'm scared. Almost got eaten. I'm alive. It's fine. And so I was sitting back on the ocean, on the sand. I was sitting by the ocean, and I start looking through the videos on my highlights. Which, coincidentally, I uploaded a highlight of me talking about my fear of sharks. Now the comments was from this guy. He's like, "Hey, I'm an Australian. Take it from me. I'm by the ocean pretty often. You don't really have to worry about sharks too much. Like the 4 p.m. thing's not that big of a deal because I was talking about how after 4 p.m. it's super dangerous. It's like the 4 p.m.'s not that big of a deal unless it's like cloudy. Because if it's cloudy, then the sharks are very active. And I was like, okay, well, hey, that's all right then. That's all right. How about that? So I was like, you know what? Australian guy says it's okay. I'm gonna grab my board. I start walking back down to the water. I'm a little scared, and I kid you not, I swear to you, I was sitting there a little bit afraid. The water was cold. I was chilly. I was like, I paid $25 for this rental board, and I'm thinking it's worth it. I'm thinking I got to get my money out, but it's still also only $25. But I want my money, but it's not that much. And then some guy comes walking by me, and he's like, he's an Australian. I promise you. And he goes by and he's like, hey, get in there. It's some older guy. He's like 55. He's like, go on now, get in there. Like, okay, sir. And for some reason, that brought me a bunch of confidence. Like, dude, that's the guy. Not the guy from a video, but like that guy knows. He knows what's up. He wouldn't freaking throw me to my death for some reason. So I grabbed this thing, and I'm paddling now. Who cares about these sharks? The Australians said it didn't matter. My nipples aren't hurting anymore because I got Band-Aids on it. I'm going to learn to surf because I paid $25 for this. That guy sold me an $8 board. He thought I wasn't a top-tier beginner, but I am. So I get out there, and I'm like sitting on my board for a minute, and I think about the movie Soul Surfer where the girl gets attacked by the shark. I'm like, oh, never mind. I'm just going to not sit on my board. I'm just going to stand there. And here we go, dude. Here we go. I'm going to start burning. And I paddle. I get up on the board, and I crash back down in the thing. And I'm like, okay, but I'm surfing again, right? I'm trying. I'm doing some more work. And at this moment, the sun goes away. The sun goes away. And I start to fear a little bit because the Australian said the only thing I had to fear in the midst of all that was a cloudy sky. Now, it was super freaking cloudy out of nowhere. I was like, what? Hey, this wasn't supposed to happen. So the clouds go away. And then I realized that all my injuries that I've accrued, all the freaking the stuff I've got, the beatings I've taken, I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding all across my entire body. It's after 4 p.m. Skies are cloudy. I am bleeding, and I'm riding a surfboard. What you hear is also not that good because it's freaking floating. And then I look back to make matters worse. My nipple band-aids are floating in the ocean. They fell off, which is like, I'm like, oh, this is all the crap that could go wrong because the only thing that sharks like or hate more than blood is a litter bug. But it's like, oh, because the Band-Aid is a sign of injury, right? It's like, yeah. Basically, I'm just warning, like, hey, dude, just want to let you know I'm weak. I'm vulnerable. Go get some. So I was like, oh, crap. Here we go again. But then I was sitting here by my board. I'm like, the Australian said it wasn't that dangerous, but he also said participatory changes. I'm like, I should go in. But also, I paid $25 for this. But it's not that big a deal. But and against my better judgment, dude, I stayed out there. I stayed on that board as long as I could, and I kept paddling. And I went through all the inspirational, motivational stuff I could say to myself. And I did it, dude. I managed to, after a little while, I figured out how to surf on this freaking top-tier beginner board against all odds, against all sea life, against all dangers, against all nipple pain. I couldn't be stopped. And it's a great feeling, dude. It's actually a really unique feeling. When you really get up there, you're paddling, you're working so hard for this thing, you pop up on this board, and you're like floating above this wave. It's pushing you. It's like, I can see my house from here. Everything's quiet, and it's just like this weird reflective moment where you're kind of above everything in the world. Nothing else matters. You're completely free, and you're just, as you get up there, and you're like, just for a moment, for a single solitary moment, you can't feel the pain in your nipples. And it was beautiful, man. It was something, it was unlike anything else I had ever experienced. And it was good, though. It was good. And, I'm sorry that, there's so many stories about my nipples. But hey, dude, that's part of the beach life. I don't know why I'm so singy today. I'm so theatrical. Oh, yeah, oh. But my falsetto is great. That's not that I was doing falsetto. So that was my surf story. That was kind of how that all happened. Trying to freaking... It looks like I'm, like, sweating, but I just got color in my cheeks, right? I just got a little bit of a tan going on. I'm not sweating. I don't think. No, I'm not sweating. But yeah, that was it. That was the house. That was the road trip. That was the surf. And, I'm a surfer now, guys. I'm a surfer. So I gave the surfboard back, regretfully. And, I'm ready in case those sharks come back. And, thank you to the Australian man who helped me face my fears, whether you were lying to me or not. And you're just like, hey, this is going to be funny. I don't even know why I trusted the comment in the first place. Oh, this guy wouldn't let me down. He said I was funny. These people adore me. These people have my best interest in mind. Yeah, go out there, dude. Don't worry about the sharks, bruh. All right, I got you guys. No problem. And, that was, looking back in hindsight, it was a bad idea. But that's the beauty about hindsight, dude. It's behind me. It doesn't matter now. That was really the entire trip, except there's one more thing. There was an awkward moment that I may have, had a part in. It was like after midnight, and I noticed that my toenails, nipples and toenails, dude. But my toenails were too long for this weather, too long for this beach, for this vacation. When your toenails get like so long, you're just like slicing through the bottoms of your socks. I'm like, oh, gee, it's pretty cool, but also, not practical. But anyways, it was after midnight. I was like, oh, I'm going to go clip my toenails, which is like such a weird midnight thought. Like, oh, dude, I'm going to go watch a movie, get a snack. I'm like, I'm going to go clip my toenails now. That does feel like the right time to do it. But, like I said, it was after midnight, and people were kind of sleeping. They were out. It was starting to be quiet, and you don't need to hear it. It's not that loud, but I was like, I'm going to go on the back deck, right? I'm going to go on the back deck and go and take care of this thing real quick. And so I sit down. I I clip one nail. It's calm. It's peaceful. And then out of the dark, I hear this voice. It says, I don't want to scare you. And it's not a dude. It's a lady, and she's smoking. And because the houses are kind of joined, there's a divider, but it's one big house technically. And so we share the back deck. And she was back there in the dark for whatever reason, and I'm just clipping my toenails, and she's like, hey, I don't want to scare you. I was like, what? What the? Hey, mission failed, lady. You can't just say that now. Like, if you wanted to not scare me, say something when I just walked out from the door. Don't wait 3 minutes until I'm in the middle of this. So I'm sitting there, I was like, what the? Hey, yeah, no problem. What? And what was funny about that to me was the fact that she waited that long until I started cutting my toenails, that she was like, oh, this is like a personal, private, vulnerable spot, that she felt like she had to announce herself to me. She's like, whoa, like this is, I don't feel like I should be a part of this, but I feel like I shouldn't be seeing this. Hey, I don't mean to scare you. And so I was terrified, right? But I was like, oh, yeah, whatever. And I got to pretend I'm not scared of what just happened because, I was vulnerable, right? I'm vulnerable in the middle of the night in a place I don't know, right? Out of state. Yeah, there's not a more vulnerable time in your life than when you're cutting your toenails, right? How am I supposed to run? What? Oh, shoot. So I was like, oh, yeah, hey, no problem. No, it didn't scare me. Not a chance. So yeah, she scared me, and I thought it was funny that she felt like she had to announce herself. But also, so she kept sitting there smoking. I was like, well, she's going to stay out here after she just thought I was in a private moment and then said that? Well, I'm staying here too. So I sat here a few feet behind her. She's in the dark on the stairs. Like, well, now I can see her. I'm staring at the back of this person's head, just cutting my toenails, staring at I'm going to, hey, if anyone's going to man this back deck, I'm going to show you I'm not scared. I'm not. Because if I would have ran away, I would have looked scared, right? I would have looked like an idiot. So I sit there, I'm cutting my toenails right behind her in the middle of the night. What's going on back there? So I'm sitting there cutting my toenails. I'm like, this is a super awkward moment. I think about that. I was like, this is like, you can feel it in the air. You know when a really awkward moment hits, you can feel it. This is super uncomfortable. I bet she's feeling the same thing. I'm feeling this is weird. It's just kind of, I was thinking about that before, like weeks ago. I was like, man, awkward moments are interesting. Next time I get into one, I'm just going to relish it and just think about it for a second and really try and process what's going on and what I would like to do to move through it. So if I found myself in an awkward situation, I went, whoa, this is what I was thinking about. This is the thing. Wow, hey, this is interesting. Wow. Hey. Anyways, I'm just sitting there, and I realize how awkward this is. I was like, what could I do to make this more awkward? Because maybe she's not feeling it. Maybe she's not feeling how awkward this is as I am, and maybe, a good awkward moment's good for everybody, right? It's kind of, you can look back at it like, whoa, we all grow from it. So I'm sitting there cutting my toenails behind this lady in the middle of the night who's smoking. And I'm staring at the back of her head, aggressively, not really, but I'm staring at the back of her head. And I was like, hey, I shouldn't be the only one in this awkward moment. We should both be in this thing together. So I start whistling, right? I'm like, I start whistling. Camptown lady, sing this song. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Camptown lady, sing this song. Hallelujah day. And I'm sitting there cutting for like 6 minutes. I take my sweet time with this thing just to make it as awkward as possible. And I'm laughing in the middle of it, which is like, what's going on? Is that Camptown lady? It's like she realized the whistling. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm just freaking, hey, let's ride this thing out. And I finished my toenails, and I walked back inside dying of laughter because I thought that was the funniest thing ever, especially in an awkward moment when you force it. And I was like, I created a new level of awkward, and I was proud of it, dude. I was actually proud of myself. So next time you face yourself or feel whatever the word is, next time you're in an awkward moment, spruce it up. Make it more awkward. I don't know what that means for you in your life, but enjoy it, right? There's only so many awkward moments get to go around, okay? Just freaking bring it in. Yeah, bear hug it. So yeah, that was my entire beach trip, dude. Yeah, it's been different. It was crazy is you like hate the sand so much, right? It gets all up in you. You feel it. It's all in your hair. Like when I got so much sand in my hair, I scratch my head and it like files my nails down like it's sandpaper. My scalp, wow, shiny. But when you get home, you're like, dang, as annoying as that freaking sand was, I miss it in a way. So I'm like sitting in bed eating my crackers and I'm like rolling around in my crumbs and I'm like, wait, it kind of feels like I'm back at the beach. This kind of feels like some sand. And yeah, so I mean, the only thing I can't replicate is that freaking, hey, what's going on back there? I don't mean to scare you, but you got crackers on your back. Yeah, so anyways, guys, that is it. It is great to be back with you again and tell some funny stories. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope it was literally all my notes was just talking about the beach. But hey, that's kind of what vacation's all about, is to make a podcast out of it. I will see you next week, and wish me luck on my voiceover audition. I should have done freaking Smoker Lady more. But hey, that's who I am, dude. I do voices. I do voices. And I don't mean to scare you. But anyways, I appreciate you guys staying here with me. Hope you guys liked the whole, time universe thing, whatever happened last week. And I will see you guys. And listen, it was 2 weeks. I still didn't learn how to end a podcast. But I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'll be laughing at the Peace.